All right, let's take a look here at why the SPC has a slight risk or a moderate risk out for the central and southern plains. And here's their surface dew point and pressure map from the RAP model. This is valid at 12Z tomorrow morning, and that's the latest one available right now, so that's what we'll use. And here is our 60-degree dew point line here. Right in there, that shading in there. And if you look here are pressures, and we always want to look for at least 1,008 and 1,012 even, depending on the upper level setup. But for this case, we'll use 1,008. And where that 60-degree dew point and the 1,008 or lower pressure is, that's where we want to look for our starting for severe weather, particularly where there's closed isobars too. And you can see the isobars are closed starting at 1,004 millibars, or 1,000 millibars, I should say. So, here's our 1,008 box in here with those parameters. That's 1,008. And if you use the closed 1,000 millibar line, then we're looking at this hatched area in here for the best chance, at least a starting point for the best chance for severe weather. And we'll have to see how that pans out. And I want you to notice here, the dry line is very discernible here on this map. You can see here the high dew points here. You can see the isodrosotherms are very, very tightly packed together back here where the dry line is across West Texas and the front range of the Rockies here in the in the high plains. So that's part one there. That's our first guess, is that box I drew there. Now we want to look for how deep the moisture is, and this is 850 millibar dew points, and you can see that again it's very moist in the same area, so you have a lot of moisture through a relatively deep layer of the atmosphere in here. So now we'll start looking for a low-level jet, and here's our 925 millibar jet. It's pretty strong up in here, 35 to 40 knot jet at 925 millibars. Go up to 850, and you can see here now we're looking at probably a 50 to 55, maybe even a 60 knot jet, and you can hear them cutting the grass outside. And so there's a lot of energy that's feeding in to this system. Go up to 500 millibars, and you can see there is some strong winds back in here. But really, the low-level jet is what we want to look at. We'll look for a turning of the wind too. 925, it's pretty much due south through this area. Start to see some turning here at 850, and then you get up to 500, and we're looking at more of a westerly flow. Wind is a little bit diffuse here on this map. It's a little bit more structured out of the southwest on the NAM, but you can see that there's definitely turning of the wind with height signature for possible tornadic activity. Go up to 300 millibars, looking for some difluence aloft to allow the storms to ventilate. And you can see here there is difluence. We have the south to southwest flow here, and it's more southwest in here. So it's screaming difluence in here, but there is very clearly difluence in this area in here. And all these things are pretty much coming together in the area the SPC has their slight risk in. And here's our vorticity map at 500 millibars. You can see here a couple of short waves that are coming through the area that will help to add energy and lift to those areas and aid in thunderstorm development. Here's our Cape. Now the Cape is a little bit displaced westward of where the moderate risk is right now, at least at 12Z. It may be drifting eastward as the day progresses, and when the thunderstorms really start firing up with the heating of the day. But I mean, the point here is that this is 3,000 plus Cape through this area here, and well over 2,000 over a large area here. So if that moves, over the area where you have that low-level jet coming in, you have that moisture there, certainly there is ingredients for a severe weather outbreak. Now here's the EHI, and these values here, to just justify in and of themselves having a moderate risk out. And if this is to verify, be it back here further east, I think we're looking at a possible, pretty significant tornado outbreak through these regions here, just where they don't need it, where they had it, a couple of weeks ago. So that's what they're looking at, I think, and I think it is a justifiable moderate risk. I thought so from yesterday that pretty much the area they outlined would be in a moderate risk. So I still think that, be it whether it's, here at the place a little bit westward, we'll have to see where everything sets up, but somewhere in this zone in here is going to get railed, I believe. So we'll have to just see how that all pans out. That's all I got.